since Fred Warner's in the news and everyone's giving him props, is he better than prime Patrick Willis? I think that's an interesting question. Jack, why don't you lead us off on this one?
Sure. I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's definitely approaching that. I'd say they're probably at this point in their careers probably pretty close to one another. I'm not ready to anoint him as better than Willis yet. Willis was pretty darn good for a long period of time. He was with the 49ers on some really bad teams. Like I said, I think he's getting there. I just don't think he's quite there yet going into year number 4.
Yeah, I'm right there, Jack. I think he's like just a level off of Patrick Willis, at least if you look at it from like an accolade standpoint, because the moment this guy stepped into the league, he was already all pro caliber. And that's kind of insane to see nowadays, to see a rookie get already that type of stature. But I think when it's all said and done, I think we are going to say Fred Warner is a better player than Patrick Willis for sure, because right now he has a younger standpoint in terms of Patrick Willis. Technically, I say technically after 8 seasons, because his 8th season he only played 6 games. He technically only got 7 to 8 seasons in. You figure Fred Warner is going to get more than that, because I kind of felt like Patrick Willis was a little bit of an outlier, like, whoa, so abruptly retiring like that, and then you can even throw in Luke Kuechly like that. But I feel like the reason why you're gonna say Fred Warner is a better linebacker is because passing now is such more big of an emphasis as it was when Willis first started in his first half of the year, or even just his whole career, to be honest. It's much more emphasized, so Warner's going to be much more plastered, much more known, much more of an impact player in that sense. Both their leadership skills, you could probably say they're both the same. They both equate to each other. But I think the tip of the scale here is in terms of playoff appearances. The 49ers are more poised to be in playoffs in playoff scenarios with Fred Warner and Kyle Shanahan, the way the 49ers have built up, than Patrick Willis was. And obviously, they can get there until 2011. So he has more moments to shine like that, and just to really become like really more known as a 49ers great linebacker, maybe even just a greater linebacker in general.
Yeah, I got to agree with everyone else for the most part. I think you guys are right that, I don't think Fred Warner is better than Patrick Willis right now, but I certainly think over his career, by the end of his career, we'll consider Fred Warner the better linebacker than Patrick Willis. And I think the thing that's going to set him apart is I think he's going to win a lot with the 49ers, and he's going to do a lot of impressive things in the playoffs for not just the next few years, but many years to come. So I think ultimately that will set them apart by the end of Fred Warner's career.
That's a fascinating question. I think it's Patrick Willis. I think Patrick Willis is the best linebacker I've ever seen. And I think people are kind of underrating him. Well, I don't know, but like, he played alongside Bowman. People remember Bowman. And maybe Willis's best years were before the Harbaugh years, back when the team wasn't that good. Not his fault. I think, look who we have. Oh, he's getting ready. I'm going to give him a second. He's ready. What's up?
What's going on?
I'm answering. We're talking about whether Patrick Willis is better than Fred Warner. It's my turn. You'll go up next.
Absolutely.
I'm saying Patrick Willis. And to me, Patrick Willis is the best linebacker I've ever seen. Now, there is one thing that Fred Warner is better at than Willis, and that's coverage. Like, Willis was good in coverage. Warner's amazing. And I remember Willis could cover most guys, but he struggled against Jimmy Graham in the playoffs when they faced. That was a tough matchup. I think Fred Warner now would do better in that matchup. Just more fluid, bigger, taller. But in terms of sideline to sideline speed, Willis. In terms of getting in the backfield, Willis. I mean, he had a year in 2009 when he had 13 tackles for loss. Warner has 15 in his career. Willis also had a year in 2010 where he had 6 sacks. I mean, he had 16 forced fumbles for his career. Warner has 5. So I feel like if you talk about linebackers as like a 5-tool player, sideline to sideline speed, downhill ferocity, coverage, blitzing, and turnover forcing, I'd give Willis 2 and 4 of the 5. But maybe Fred Warner can keep improving and get there. He's the Willie Mays of linebackers. That's the way I look at Patrick Willis.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
No,
Nick, you're up.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything that you said, Grant. You're a tough one to follow up. But the way that I see it when talking about Fred Warner and Patrick Willis is Patrick Willis, you have an argument like from 2000 onward. Patrick Willis is on the 49ers Mount Rushmore from 2000 onward. Like he is established. He had a short career, but his short career was playing at a high level each and every season. Not to say that Fred Warner has not been playing at a high level throughout the 3 years of his young career. The potential is definitely there for him to surpass Willis, especially if he has a longer career because, Willis decided to retire early. But if Warner keeps stacking up all those individual accomplishments and the team has more success than Willis's team, the possibility, the potential is there for sure.
Human Race Wins says, is Lynch recreating the 2003 Tampa D? Who's Sapp's comp? DeForest Buckner. No, it would be Kinlaw, right? Kinlaw would have to be that guy.
Yeah, it has to be.
So I don't know. I don't know about that. But I guess Derek Brooks would be Bosa. I don't know. What do you think, Jack? Who would be Lynch? Jaquaski Tartt?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, right. Because that's a strong safety. That'd have to be that would be there. Yeah. Looking at this, I know not prepared for this, but then looking back at it right now, I mean, Patrick Willis had in his first 3 seasons of the league, 174, 141, 152 tackles. Those numbers are outrageous when you compare those to Warner.
Anyone. People forget Willis because when he played those first 3 years, the team wasn't good. Not his fault. He was great. Swan Song says P. Willie could have played in any era at an all-pro level, whereas Fred Warner is an all-pro only in this era. Maybe. Possibly. That sounds pretty fair. But Fred Warner, I don't want to come on here and undersell Fred Warner. He's great too. I just look at Patrick Willis as the greatest of the greatest. All right. Jack, you got a little bit of feedback, so I'm going to mute you in between your turns. It's not personal. You're doing a great job. I'm not muting you like Tony Reali would. You know what I'm saying?